Hi, I'm Jackie Partridge. Today we're going to be painting a nighttime moonlit sky painting. And I'll be using some acrylic paint. I have cobalt blue, cadmium yellow, Mars black, cadmium red, and titanium white. I'm painting on a 5" by 7" canvas board. You can also work on a canvas or watercolor paper, or just in your sketchbook. I have a 1" flat brush, a number 6 round, as well as a small detail brush. I've got my cloth rag and a cup of water. Alright, let's get started. So I'm going to start with my 1" flat brush and start by mixing some of my cobalt blue and Mars black together to make a kind of nice dark blue for our sky. And just start by covering your canvas. I'm painting side to side horizontally. You can add a little bit of water on your brush just to help the paint kind of glide across. And in some areas I can add a little bit more cobalt blue to my sky. And again, you just want to cover the whole surface that you're painting on. I don't like painting the background all in one color. I just want to kind of paint it so that there's some variety and different movement happening. So we're gonna plan to paint our moon in the middle so that it's kind of a nice central focal point, and we're gonna kind of have our clouds sort of circling around the moon. So you can switch to your round brush. This is kind of a medium round brush, number 6. And we're just going to start with some gray, mixing our Mars black and titanium white together. And I'm just going to kind of go up from sort of 3/4 of the way in the middle towards the bottom, and just kind of make some nice kind of curved lines. So where our clouds are, this kind of line is going to be closest to the moon, so it's going to be kind of the brightest, nice and white. And then down from that highlight, it's going to be a bit darker. You can let some of the sky show through as well. And there might be areas of the cloud that kind of curve, sort of where the moon is going to be in the middle there. So it's always important to remember where the highlights are, and that's kind of closest to the light source. So now we're going to do the same thing, kind of make our little curved lines. And take some of the darker gray that we mixed and just brush it in. You can overlap it and just make sure this cloud is nice and white at the edge. Leave some space showing for the sky. And you can kind of make it nice and soft and wispy towards the bottom. And go back in with a little bit more white on your brush to add the highlights. And I can add some clouds this way as well. Sort of doing the highlights first. Kind of moving quickly and just doing little lines. And then I can add some of my darker gray underneath. It helps to move quickly so that you naturally have some of the sky showing through. You don't want your clouds to look too thick or heavy. You can leave some of that dark edge just to kind of bring out the highlight more. Then with your moon, you're going to switch to a smaller detail brush. If you want, you can use a piece of chalk just to draw a circle, but I'm just going to use my brush. Part of my moon is going to be covered by the clouds. If you want, you can look at a picture of a moon, or since mine's kind of abstract, I'm just going to kind of go with what I know. So I'm going to keep some darker circles for the moon craters and just kind of map out where they are. If you're wanting to make it more realistic, obviously you can have a photo and take your time. And then you can just fill it in from there. So I'm using my titanium white to paint. And there's going to be areas of gray that I'm going to be adding as well. So towards the bottom of my moon, I'm going to keep it a bit darker. And I'm painting, kind of curving around to help make my moon look three-dimensional. And if you want to watch my other video, Painting Round Forms, I kind of talk about this a little bit more when I'm painting eggs in a nest. So once the paint is dried, you can kind of go with another layer just to bring out some of that white to make it look like a brighter white. You can take some of that gray that you made as well and kind of add that into where the craters are. Kind of creating some shadows. And just paint some of the sections of white as well so that it's not all the same color. So once you have your moon done, you can take a bit of white on your brush and add some water, and we're just going to do some splattering for some stars. You can kind of just do it anywhere in this kind of empty space at the top here. If you make a little mistake, you can just dab it off with a cloth. If you wanted to add a little bit of purple, some blue mixed with red, you could do that as well. I'm just going to go over my highlights to make them stand out a little bit more. And we can try adding a bit of purple with our cobalt blue and cadmium red. And add a little bit of water so that it's a nice light wash. And I can just kind of add it into sections of my sky. Maybe down here with the clouds. You can use your wider brush, just kind of blend it in a bit. Just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Add some down here too. You can add some of your gray to help blend it in a little bit more. Just kind of dabbing, painting quickly. And further away from the moon, it's just going to be a bit darker. And since we added some purple, we can always go back and add a few more stars in the sky. The closer you go, the bigger your dots or stars are going to be. Brush off some of that water. Alright, and there you have it, your nice nighttime moonlit sky painting. So if you like this painting, be sure to like it and share it with your friends. You can also subscribe to my channel to see new videos that come out every week. And if you're making this painting, please use the hashtag Jackie Partridge art classes, because I would love to see what you're doing and give you some likes on social media. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy painting!